Can you create an AI agent for Slack? Today I'm going to show you how. My name is Matty Hogan and I'm the CTO of Pompeii Labs, and we've created a pretty cool platform called Magma. Magma helps you create, host, and manage AI agents without the need to secure and provision your own infrastructure for those agents, which is a problem that we've run into countless times, hence why we built the platform. So today we're going to walk through our Slack DM agent template, which is available on our Magma Deploy docs, and I'll link that in the description. Let's get into the code. So what we're looking at here is the Slack DM agent quick start guide that we have on the Magma Deploy docs, and I'll attach this link in the description so you can follow along. So the only prerequisite here is that you have a Slack workspace where you have admin permissions. So assuming that that is the case, we're going to get started. I'm going to open a terminal window here. The first step that we need to do, and I'm just going to copy this line by line, is we need to install the Magma CLI. We will have more videos in the future on what this does and some of the benefits it provides. So we're going to install this using the npm install command. And then next, we are going to do Magma login. This is going to, if you don't have an account, this is going to create your account. It's going to bring you to this window, and I'm just going to create my account here. And this is going to redirect us, and now we're logged in to my email at my workspace. So the next thing, and this is a really cool part of the Magma CLI, the init command. So Magma init is a command that stands up the basics of a Magma agent so you can get working on a new one. It's very similar to npm init if you've ever used that before. So if you provide the -t flag or -- template, this is how you use one of the templates to create the agent. So here we're going to use Slack DM. And I'm going to give it the basic name Pompeii Slack agent. So this is standing up a new repo locally called Pompeii Slack agent, which has all of the basic code we need and all the starter code that we've provided for how to do the Slack specific one. So I'm going to go into this directory, clear the terminal, and step 4 here is to do Magma save. So what this is doing is it's creating this first version of our agent in my Magma account. So it's the equivalent of a git push. So it's committing the code that you've done locally and pushing it up to the Magma ecosystem. So now I can access it from my dashboard, my account, and there's basically a versioning system tied into this now. Okay, so we now have our repo. We've saved the first version. Now we're going to get into the Slack app setup. So this is based on a manifest JSON file. If we open up the code here, we're going to find that right here. So the manifest JSON is really cool because it's essentially a template, a JSON template for all of the settings that we provide you for the quick starter for this particular agent in Slack. So there's very little you need to do in Slack other than paste this in. So let's see what we need to do here. The first step is we need to replace the agent name. So this is just a placeholder value. So I'm going to call this Slack Magma. You can call this whatever you want. This is basically the display name as if this agent was another person in your Slack workspace. So next we need to replace the agent ID. So this is why we did Magma save, because now if we go into the Magma cache here, we now have an agent ID that has been assigned to this project, and we're going to replace this agent_ID in this URL with our ID. So this right here, this URL is basically the entry point that we're giving Slack into our agent. This is called a hook in Magma, and we'll have more videos in the future that go deeper into what a hook is. So now that we've done this, we're going to go into the Create Your Slack App section. So I'm going to click here, which is going to bring me to the Slack app screen. So now we need to select the workspace that we need. So we're going to go to Create New App from a manifest. And then if you're part of multiple workspaces, just pick whichever one you want to do or whichever one you have the admin access to. For me, I'm going to do Pompeii Labs. Next. So this is where that manifest JSON comes in. This is the demo default one that Slack gives you, but we're not going to use that. We're going to copy everything in the manifest JSON that the template provided you with your updated variables, and we're going to paste it in here. This is going to create a Slack app with all of the settings that you need to have an agent in your Slack channel. So now I'm going to hit create. And as far as setup goes, we're done. That's all we need to do. Now we need to go to OAuth and permissions and basically just install it into our workspace. So we're going to hit install into Pompeii Labs and we're going to hit allow. This is basically us granting the Slack app permissions to send and receive messages in this particular workspace. So now you'll see here, once we've done this, we need the bot user OAuth token. This is the most important piece because this is the auth token that has granted our agent all the permissions it needs to do anything in Slack. So we're going to bring it over into the .env here. So it has an OpenAI key, which we also need to set. So we're going to go Slack bot token and then paste this in. And then you're going to need to grab an OpenAI API key. Okay, so now that I've set my API key, if we look at these docs again, the only step that we have left is to do Magma deploy. So we're going to go back to our terminal. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to run Magma deploy. And this is probably the coolest command in the Magma CLI because this is actually packaging up all of the code that we have, including your API keys, your environment variables, encrypting everything, and standing it up on our servers as part of our specialized agent infrastructure. So this is now being created in its own isolated container on our hosting servers. So now this is done. We have a few options here, but we'll get to that in a different video. This has all been about Slack. So the real test is we need to go over to Slack, and I'm going to search for Magma Slack. This is what we called our agent, and now we'll see that this agent is actually here, and it's indicated that it's online. So I'm just going to say hello. And within a couple seconds, we get a response. So we now have a working AI agent built on the Magma framework that is deployed into our Slack workspace in just about 5 minutes. And what's really cool about this and about the fact that it's on Magma is this is not a no-code tool. You have full freedom to do whatever you want with this code. You can override any of the Slack logic. You can start to prompt this however you want. You can start to add tool calls so your agent can manage your email or create linear tickets or fetch, scrape some website content, all from this bot in Slack, thanks to the Magma framework.